What if the greatest revenge against someone who hurt you was not anger, but peace, silence, and growth? Could it be that the pain you carry is not meant to break you, but to build a stronger, untouchable version of yourself? Imagine walking so high above betrayal that the one who hurt you is left confused, powerless, and forgotten. What if I told you that the greatest power you have over someone who has hurt you is not revenge, not anger, but something much greater? What if I told you that the moment you learned this, you will never be controlled by pain again? Listen carefully. Pain is a tool, a teacher, a silent sculptor of character and resilience. It shapes you in ways comfort never could. When someone wounds you, they expect a reaction. They expect you to break down, to cry, to become bitter. But what if instead you rose higher? What if you responded in a way that left them confused, unsettled, even questioning themselves? There is a secret to handling hurt, and if you understand it, you will never be a prisoner of someone's actions again. Stay with me, because by the end of this message, you will not only heal, but you will become untouchable to those who once thought they had power over you. When a man expects you to break, surprise him with your strength. The moment you stop chasing answers, stop seeking closure, and stop explaining yourself, that's when you take control. Your silence will do more damage than your words ever could, because people expect a reaction. When you don't give them what they expect, they are forced to sit with their own actions. Never let the actions of someone else change your identity. Some people will try to define you by how you react to their mistreatment. If you get angry, they say you're bitter. If you cry, they say you're weak. But if you smile, if you carry on, if you elevate, suddenly they are lost. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you refuse to let someone else's brokenness define your wholeness. A wise person understands that emotions are powerful, but uncontrolled emotions are dangerous. The moment you let someone control how you feel, they control what you do. But if you master your emotions, you become untouchable. Let your strength be a mystery. Let your peace be your greatest revenge. The person who hurt you expects you to fight them on their level, but wisdom says rise higher. They want you to argue. Don't. They want you to prove yourself. Don't. They want to see you suffer. Don't. Instead, focus on your growth. When you elevate your life, you remove yourself from their reach. One of the most powerful ways to confuse someone who hurt you is to give them nothing. No reaction, no validation, no explanation, just silence. Silence is unsettling. It forces them to think, to question, to wonder. And in that space of uncertainty, they lose control. The best way to overcome hurt is not to stay in it, but to outgrow it. Shift your energy. When they see you glowing, moving forward, and succeeding despite their actions, it will confuse them more than any revenge ever could. Focus on yourself. Build yourself. The moment they see that their actions did not break you, they will realize they lost. What you allow will continue. When you draw the line and refuse to compromise your value, you send a clear message. You do not have access to me anymore. A person who expected to have control over you will be stunned when they realize that you are no longer available for their games. Nothing confuses a person more than watching you heal from what was meant to destroy you. When you heal, you prove that they did not win. Your wholeness, your joy, your peace, that is the greatest shock to those who thought they had the power to break you. The final and greatest strategy is this: become someone they can no longer reach emotionally, spiritually, mentally. You must rise above them. When a man who hurt you sees that you are no longer within his grasp, that you are beyond his influence, he will be left confused, unsettled, and powerless. Pain will come. Hurt will happen. But how you respond determines your destiny. Do not let a moment of pain turn into a lifetime of bitterness. Instead, use it as a stepping stone to greatness. Remember this: the strongest person is not the one who fights back. It's the one who rises above. Confuse them with your peace. Shock them with your growth and leave them behind as you walk boldly into your destiny. Now the choice is yours. Will you stay in the pain they created, or will you rise so high that they can no longer reach you? When a man expects you to break, surprise him with your strength. The moment you stop chasing answers, stop seeking closure, and stop explaining yourself, that's when you take control. People are conditioned to expect a reaction when they inflict pain. They anticipate anger, tears, or even desperate attempts to mend what they have broken. But when you refuse to react in the way they expect, you disrupt their perception of control. Understand this: Pain is a tool, a teacher, a silent sculptor of character and resilience. It shapes you in ways comfort never could, and if you use it wisely, it can work in your favor. Many people believe that reacting emotionally gives them power, but in reality, it hands over control. The person who remains calm in the face of betrayal holds the upper hand. When you respond with peace instead of retaliation, you force the other person to confront themselves. They no longer have your reaction to focus on, so they must sit with their own action. Think about it. What confuses a person more than the unexpected? If someone wrongs you and you continue to walk in grace, joy, and purpose, they are left questioning their influence. They start to wonder, why isn't she broken? Why isn't she begging for an explanation? Why isn't she lashing out? This confusion is your power. It is a silent but undeniable force that turns the situation around. Strength is not found in words. It is found in restraint. The most powerful response is often no response at all. When you stop reacting, you stop feeding their expectations. And when you stop feeding their expectations, they lose their hold over you. True strength is the ability to carry yourself with dignity, even when someone has tried to tear you down. Never allow someone's actions to dictate your peace. Your calmness is your weapon. Your ability to remain unshaken is the ultimate act of defiance. Let them wonder. Let them question. Let them sit in the confusion of their own making while you rise above it all. Never let the actions of someone else change your identity. When a person hurts you, their goal, whether consciously or unconsciously, is to shift the way you see yourself. They want to shake your confidence, distort your self-worth, and make you question who you are. If you are not careful, you will begin to define yourself by their mistreatment rather than by your true value. But here is the truth. What they did is a reflection of them, not you. A dishonest person lies not because you are unworthy of the truth, but because they lack integrity. A manipulative person deceives not because you are weak, but because they are broken. A person who abandons you does not leave because you are unlovable, but because they never understood how to love you properly. The moment you internalize their actions and make them a part of your identity, you give them power over you. You start believing that you are unworthy, unlovable, or not enough. This is the real damage, not the action itself, but the identity crisis it creates in you. So how do you confuse the person who hurt you? By refusing to change who you are because of what they did. Instead of becoming bitter, become better. Instead of losing confidence, become even more secure in your worth. Instead of breaking down, build yourself up. When they see that their actions did not shake your sense of self, they will be left questioning their own power. Your value is not determined by how someone treats you. It is determined by who you were created to be. Walk in that truth. Stand firm in your identity and never allow temporary pain to redefine your permanent worth. A wise person understands that emotions are powerful, but uncontrolled emotions are dangerous. The moment you let someone control how you feel, they control what you do. When a man hurts you, he expects a reaction: anger, sadness, desperation. He expects to see you pleading for answers, demanding justice, or drowning in self-pity. But the moment you master your emotions, you strip him of that power. Emotional intelligence is a weapon. It does not mean suppressing how you feel. It means directing your emotions wisely. When you are hurt, you have two choices: to react impulsively or to respond intentionally. The one who reacts impulsively becomes predictable, easy to manipulate, and emotionally drained. But the one who responds with wisdom becomes untouchable. Think about it. When someone tries to provoke you and you refuse to engage, what happens? They become frustrated. They lose control. They begin questioning their own power. This is because people feed off the reactions they expect. If a man believes he can break you and instead sees you walking in peace, joy, and purpose, he is forced to reconsider his influence over you. That confusion is his greatest defeat. Never let a temporary wound push you into permanent regret. Many people in the heat of their emotions say things they wish they could take back, make choices that damage their own future, or allow bitterness to consume them. But a person who governs their emotions with wisdom moves strategically. They know that the best way to win is not to react, but to elevate. Your emotions are yours to control. Do not place them in the hands of someone who has already proven they do not value you. When you master your emotions, you master your influence. And when you master your influence, no one, no matter how they try, can ever break you. Silence is more powerful than any argument. When a man hurts you, he expects words, shouting, questioning, or pleading. He anticipates a storm of emotions, a flood of accusations, or an attempt to make sense of what happened. But when you respond with silence, you disrupt everything he expects. Silence forces self-reflection. When you refuse to engage in unnecessary battles, the person who wronged you is left alone with their own conscience. They no longer have your words to fight against, so they are forced to sit with their own actions. Guilt grows louder in the absence of distraction. Many people defend their actions not because they believe they are right, but because they do not want to face the weight of their own decisions. But when you remove yourself from the equation, they are left to battle themselves. Your silence does not mean you are weak. It means you have chosen wisdom over war. Not every fight is worth engaging in. Some battles are won not by raising your voice, but by walking away with dignity. There is no greater confusion than expecting chaos and receiving peace instead. Think about it. When a person mistreats you and you continue to carry yourself with grace, confidence, and purpose, what message does that send? It tells them that their actions did not break you. It tells them that their influence over you is gone. It tells them that your peace is too valuable to be disturbed by temporary pain. Silence is a response. It is a statement. It is a declaration that you refuse to waste your energy on someone who has already shown you who they are. And when you choose silence wisely, you shift the power back into your hands. Your greatest revenge is success. When a man hurts you, he expects you to dwell in pain. He expects you to become bitter, to lose focus, to stop believing in yourself. But the most powerful way to confuse him is to rise above the situation and build a life so strong, so joyful, and so fulfilling that his actions become irrelevant. Pain is not the end of your story. It is the fuel for your next chapter. Many people allow hurt to paralyze them, to make them retreat into isolation, to rob them of their confidence. But the wise understand that pain, when used correctly, can become the foundation of strength. Instead of crying over what was lost, build something greater. Instead of seeking revenge through words, let your life speak for itself. Think about it. What makes a person regret their actions more? Seeing you stuck in sadness, or seeing you thriving beyond their reach? The best way to prove someone wrong is not through arguments or explanations, but through undeniable transformation. When they see that their betrayal did not break you, that their abandonment did not define you, and that their actions had no power over your destiny, they will be left in disbelief. Success is the answer to every insult, every rejection, and every moment of pain. It tells the world that no matter what was meant to harm you, you have chosen to rise. It tells the one who hurt you that their influence is gone. And most importantly, it tells you that your worth was never dependent on anyone else to begin with. Do not waste time proving your pain. Prove your strength. Let your life be the evidence that you were never defeated. You were only being prepared for something greater. Forgiveness is not about them. It's about you. When a man hurts you, he expects you to carry the weight of resentment. He expects his actions to live rentrée in your mind, keeping you bitter, angry, and distracted. But the moment you choose to release the offense, you reclaim your peace. Understand this. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is not excusing what was done or pretending that pain does not exist. Forgiveness is the strategic decision to free yourself from the emotional chains of someone who has already proven they do not value you. Why allow them to control your joy long after they have left your life? Holding on to resentment does not punish them. It punishes you. It keeps you emotionally tied to a moment that no longer serves your future. But when you forgive, you break that tie. You take back your energy, your focus, and your ability to move forward without baggage. Now here's what will confuse them. You're not supposed to be at peace. You're supposed to be broken, filled with anger, and searching for revenge. But when they see you walking in freedom, unshaken by what they did, they will be forced to question everything. How is she not angry? How is she still thriving? How does she have joy after what I did? That is the power of forgiveness. It removes the ability of others to control your emotions and puts the power back in your hands. Do not let their actions define your future. Release the offense, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Let your heart be free, let your mind be clear, and watch how your life flourishes when you choose to move forward untouched by the past. Indifference is the greatest response to disrespect, When a man hurts you, he expects you to be consumed by his actions. He wants to know that he still holds a place in your mind, that his choices still affect your emotions, and that you are still invested in what he does. But the moment you become indifferent, you leave him in confusion. Indifference is not hatred, it is detachment. Hatred still shows you care. Anger still proves that he has influence over your emotions. But when you become completely unbothered, when his name no longer stirs any reaction in you, when his presence or absence makes no difference in your life, that is when he loses all power. This is what will confuse him the most. You are supposed to be devastated. You are supposed to be questioning, regretting, or waiting for closure. But when he sees that you have moved forward without hesitation, that his words and actions hold no weight in your life, he will be left wondering how he lost control. Think about it. When someone expects you to chase after them, what happens when you walk away without looking back? They panic. They begin to second-guess their own decisions. They realize that they were not as important to you as they assumed. That is the greatest shock to someone who thought they had power over you. So refuse to waste energy where it is not valued. Do not explain, do not argue, do not seek validation. Simply live as though his existence no longer affects yours. Because once you master the art of indifference, no one, no matter what they do, can ever hold you hostage emotionally again. Your glow-up must be internal before it becomes external. When a man hurts you, he expects you to fall apart. He expects you to lose confidence, question your worth, and shrink into insecurity. But the greatest way to confuse him is to elevate yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically until you become completely out of reach. The true glow-up is not just about appearance, it is about transformation. A changed mind is more powerful than a changed look. When you invest in your growth, when you strengthen your mindset, when you deepen your wisdom, and when you embrace your purpose, you become untouchable. No insult can shake you. No rejection can define you, and no past wound can stop you. This is what will leave him confused. How did she get stronger after what I did? How is she more confident now than before? He expected you to crumble, but instead you used the pain as fuel for your greatness. That is the moment he realizes he did not break you. He built a stronger version of you. Think about it. When people expect you to be bitter, but instead see you flourishing, they are left speechless. They begin to question whether they ever really knew you because the person standing in front of them is no longer the person they hurt. You have outgrown the pain, outgrown the insecurity, and outgrown the version of yourself that once tolerated what was beneath you. So focus on your elevation, work on your mind, heal your heart, strengthen your spirit, because the best way to confuse someone who tried to break you is to show them that they were only a stepping stone to your greatness. Peace is the final victory. When a man hurts you, he expects chaos. He expects you to be restless, tormented by questions, and searching for closure. But the moment you embrace true peace, the kind that cannot be shaken by betrayal or disappointment, you take away his power completely. Peace is not found in revenge. It is not found in explanations, confrontations, or trying to make someone understand what they did to you. Real peace comes when you no longer need answers, when you stop looking back and when you realize that your future is far more important than your past. Nothing confuses a person more than watching someone they hurt move forward with grace. They expect you to be bitter, but you are joyful. They expect you to be stuck, but you are growing. They expect you to be empty, but your life is full. This is when they begin to regret, to question, to wonder how you managed to heal so beautifully without them. Understand this. Peace is your greatest weapon. When you refuse to let pain define you, when you no longer react to what was meant to break you, you show that your spirit is unshaken. And when a person sees that their absence did not destroy you, but instead made room for something greater, they will be left in disbelief. So protect your peace, guard it fiercely, let your silence speak louder than words, your joy outshine their expectations, and your growth be the answer to every question they will ever have about you, because when you have peace, you have already won.